My name is Crystal, and today we're going to be doing a recovery sequence for your shoulders and upper back, and just a little bit for your hips as well today, but main focus is on the shoulders. The equipment that you will need is somewhere comfortable that you can sit or lie on, and you might need a block or a rolled up towel. I've got mine. It's hiding just behind me. So yeah, if you don't have that equipment, grab it and let's start the sequence together. We're going to be starting lying on our right side, and if you know that your upper back is tight, grab your block, you're going to need it. If your upper back is not tight, you might not need this as a modification. So let's come onto our sides. You can also, if your upper back is really tight, you can grab something for underneath your head, but not too big because we don't want your neck to be in too much flexion. So we'll start by bringing our knee up towards the block, and we want our knee to get about as high as our belly button. And we're going to grab and just hook underneath it with our bottom arm, just to make sure that that knee doesn't go anywhere, because what we want to do is kind of mute that lumbar spine so that we're moving all through our thoracic spine. So we're just going to start with these nice big inhale, exhales, and we're going to rotate in and out of this position. So we take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to open our shoulders up. Inhale, coming back, and exhale, opening up. As you move through that rotation, you might hear some snap, crackle, pop. That's okay. Let's do 2 more, in and out. Last one. Again, when we open up and rotate, we want that rotation to happen from our upper back, shoulders, neck, but our hips stay stacked. So if you notice that your hips are coming with you, you might just be rotating further than you have range in your upper back. Okay, then we're just going to hang out here and breathe. So you might be starting here, your shoulders up here, but as you breathe and allow that shoulder to kind of open and relax towards the floor, you'll notice that things start to soften sometimes. Okay, just check to make sure that your shoulder's not dumping forward. So what that means is that your shoulder's kind of rotating forward instead of allowing that armpit to be open. So just a couple things to check in on. Some people who are really tight through the pecs can feel this stretch pretty intense through their pecs as well. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. Some people feel it through the hip. Some people feel it through the upper back. Something good for you to do is just notice what's happening in your body. Where are you feeling the tension and the stretch? You might not be aware of what it is that you're even feeling because maybe you've never done this stretch before. We're going to add to this. So all we're going to do is lift our chest up a little bit, just far enough so that we can reach back and grab the top of our foot. Now, if you can't reach and grab the top of your foot, go grab a strap or a towel so that you can hook it around your foot. Okay, and then you'll notice that my knee is pulled forward. I just want you to pull your knee back into extension, so hip extension. Okay, the knee is flexed. Then what you're going to do is you're going to let that shoulder drop back down. Okay, if this position is hard on your neck, get a little pillow just to give yourself a little bit to put under that head. But again, don't forget about this knee. We want to keep that knee in place. So we just intensified this rotation a little bit. Just see if you can tap back into that breath. Nice big inhale. And exhale, soften. And again, nice big inhale through the nose. Exhale. Let's do 3 more cycles of breath. So that's both inhale, exhale. And I want you to try to lengthen out that exhale. Exhale nice and slow. Inhale through the nose. And slowly releasing the air. Last breath. So on the next inhale, you're just going to release the top of the foot first. Then bring those shoulders back around. Just support the head and pause here for a moment. Just so we don't traumatize our body when we come out of the stretch. Not that you actually will, but then when you're ready, coming to your back, and we're going to get set up on the other side. Okay, so we start by being stacked on our left side. We bring that top leg up, make sure that the knee is in line with the belly button. And again, if you know that your upper back is tight, put that knee on a block. Secure that knee by grabbing it with that bottom arm. Okay, because we don't want this part of our back to be twisting and rotating too much. Then we're going to extend our arm, take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to open up that top arm into the rotation. Inhale, coming back. And exhale, opening up. Let's do 2 more. Last one. We're just going to hang out here and breathe. Again, check that shoulder, that it's not dumping forward. Open up that armpit. If that means that your arm lifts up a little bit more, that's totally okay. Because we're just going to breathe into it, letting that shoulder soften towards the floor. Okay, and you kind of have your arm moving in this direction and your knee moving in the opposite direction. And we're just going to breathe here. So we're going to stay here, but we're just going to add to the stretch. So we're going to sit up a little bit, bend that back leg, reach and grab the top of the foot. Okay. First, pull that knee straight down so the hip is in extension. Then we're going to rotate and open the upper back. Again, if this position feels hard for your neck and you feel like you're really reaching to get your head to the ground, make sure you grab a pillow. This might feel really intense as you kind of settle into it. So use your breath to kind of soften and relax the nervous system. Make sure that you haven't forgot about this knee. Make sure it's not going anywhere. So on the next inhale, we're going to release the top of the foot first. Bringing the shoulders back around. You can just support the head, because I want you to pause here for a moment before you do anything. When you're ready, just coming onto your back and then come to a seated position. So if you can comfortably sit cross-legged, we'll just sit here. If this feels really uncomfortable, grab that block, put it underneath your bum so that you can be comfortable, so that you're not struggling in an uncomfortable position, because we're going back towards the shoulders. So sitting nice and tall, we're just going to take our hand, elbow is in line with the shoulder, and all we're going to do is take that arm across behind us and extend the wrist. Bring it back and forth. Okay. Again, the shoulders, the arm extends from the shoulder, and then the wrist is just behind the shoulder and extends. Okay, and you might feel that as you go into that wrist extension, you might feel a little bit of nerve tension. That's totally okay. Don't push it too much, just extend into it, meet that tension, and then back off. Good. Let's do two more. Good. Last one. Other side. So again, we just start hand in line with our sternum, elbows in line with the shoulder. We're just going to extend out and back. Now you might notice that one side you don't feel as much tension through the hands or the wrist, or you might feel more, or it might be exactly the same. Only thing I want you to do is just notice what you do feel. Just make note of it, gain that awareness. And if one side feels like there's a lot more tension than the other, maybe that means you go back to the other side Do a couple more until it feels about the same. Let's do 2 more. Good. Okay, I'm going to get you to grab that block, put it on your mat on the short side. Okay, so that it's like this across your shoulder blades. Okay, so I'm going to lie back on it. And kind of let my head, neck, and shoulders fold over the block. Okay, and we're just going to have the arms start in a T position. And all I want you to do is just let those shoulders open up, let the upper back be over the roll or over the block. Just make sure that the block isn't too close to your lower back, that it's all the whole block is being supported by your rib cage, if that makes sense. And this should feel like a comfortable position. If you can't get your head to the floor, try to put a little pillow underneath it, but don't have the pillow larger than the block. Does that make sense? You don't want to give your head this range when we're actually trying to work on a little bit of thoracic spine extension and opening through the chest. Okay, and if you want, you can always use this as a little hip opener as well. So you just press the soles of your feet together and open the knees up. Okay, if this position feels really comfortable and easy, what I'm going to get you to do is maybe just bend your elbows so they're bent at 90, kind of like that cactus position. And I just want you to notice in your own body how that changes this for you. Do you feel like your wrists don't want to touch the floor? If they don't, see if you can start to flatten them towards the floor. And again, if you're looking for a little more, we're just going to bring those arms up. So you're going to kind of grab elbow to elbow. So let's grab right hand underneath left to begin. Extend those arms overhead. Now, if you experience any pinching in the shoulders at all, I want you to move back to that chest opener. We don't want to move through pain. So if you're experiencing any pinching or pain with your arms overhead, just move back to that previous position. Okay, and I'll just get you to switch your position. So left hand goes under right, right hand is on top of left. I'm going to get you to release your arms and rolling off the block just so that you can remove it. And come back onto your back. Walk your feet out and just let your knees kind of rest against each other. I've got my hands on my belly button. I'm just focusing on my breathing. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth with kind of a sigh of relief. Letting my shoulders and upper traps relax. And again, inhaling through the nose, the belly expands into the hands. Exhaling through the mouth, belly collapses and you soften into the floor. On the next inhale, let's roll over onto our right side, fetal position. And when you feel ready, we're just going to come up to a seated position. And that is our recovery sequence for today. Thank you for joining the movement.